Hi, and thank you for joining our Solving for Safer Schools webinar series. My name is Nancy Ann Martin, and I am a subject matter expert in license plate recognition and body-worn cameras. Throughout my career in law enforcement, which is what I did previous to joining the team at Motorola Solutions, I did safety and security evaluations for all types of businesses in my community. One of the businesses that I spent the most time at was our schools. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit today about solving for safer schools. First of all, I want to ask a little question. We have about 20 people online, and what I'd like to know is what keeps you up at night? What are those things that you're worried about constantly when you think about how to keep your campus safe? And this is big or small campuses. This is little problems or big problems. So go ahead and let me know what keeps you up at night. Give it about a few seconds for some folks to answer. And let's see what we have. So, same answers I see quite frequently. Weapons, shooters. Also, my all-time favorite is unlocked and propped doors. It gets hot in a classroom. A lot of schools were built very sealed, and the only way to get some air in those classrooms, because they don't have windows that open, is to unlock or prop a door open. The other thing I've seen, and this I've actually seen in the high school in the community in which I used to work in law enforcement, is students propping doors open so their friends can go outside and smoke. And I also see a lot about vaping, THC vapes, all sorts of things like that. So let's talk about those things. First of all, security challenges are always an issue on a campus. So what I want you to do kind of mentally is think, what is the most important security challenge for your campus? Everybody's not the same. The way that Motorola looks at it is we look at it in 4 pillars. First of all, who's coming into our facilities? We need to detect them. License plate recognition and fixed video far at the outer edges of our campus help give us a little bit of runway to notifications of things that might be occurring. How do we protect our people and property? Once we have that information, what do we do with it? How do we analyze it? How do we make sense of it? And how do we do that in an automated fashion? Because I'm sure you don't have a security to teacher ratio of 1 to 1. I am sure you probably have a security to teacher ratio of 1 to many, like most community schools do. The other thing is, how do we let everybody know what's going on? Is it app-based? Is it radio-based? Is it a combination of both? Do we have overhead announcements? Do we have message boards and sign boards? Do we have any sort of combination or all or some of those? And then when something's going on and it needs to be brought to somebody's attention, how do we provide eyes on the scene from anywhere? So how do we manage that situation? In our case, we do a lot of site safety walks. So this is Lake Nona High School in Orlando, has a pretty typical high school campus. We always want to work from our outside in. So there's a main entrance and a parking entrance. There's also a faculty only entrance and a secondary entrance for school buses and after hours drop off traffic to their facilities for athletics. This is a pretty large campus. It runs about 4 city blocks wide and about 3 city blocks long. It actually has a beautiful water feature. Lake and water feature are the same thing when you're working on a high school. And it has a lot of traffic at various hours of the day. So we have our student traffic and our faculty traffic during the day. We have our activities after hours. We have in and out things like band going to do a performance someplace else, returning by bus, things like that. So we need to consider all of those factors. So one of the things when we're working on a site safety walk is I like to test the Wi-Fi and cellular coverage. I know that Motorola is not who provides your Wi-Fi and your cellular coverage, but a lot of the devices that you utilize will be tied in using those tools. And we want to make sure that anywhere we're going to put a device is going to have a clear way to communicate back to your home base. And also make sure that you consider what's coming in and out of your campus. You know, is it bus traffic? Is it parents' cars? Is it students' cars? Is it the community walking on the walking track after 6 p.m. at night? So you want to consider your public-private partnerships so that you can work with those non-registered vehicles and your local police department. So if you have an LPR notification for a stolen car, there is no mechanism for an enterprise customer or an education customer to get that information because legally it's only allowable in the law enforcement space. So this is just a sample of what I would do for site safety walk. This is kind of how I would start. Here's a campus that we have installed on, and this campus in particular has our radios, and they have also purchased LPR. They had 3 unique entrances that were accessible by vehicle. Lot A is a permitted lot. That's where their students park. So they charge their students a by semester or by quarter, I cannot remember, fee to park in their student lot. And this is an Arizona school, so those are solar panels covering those spots. Those are coveted spots. Students want their car in the shade all day while they're in class. Register your car, pay your permit fee, drive by the LPR camera, and nothing happens. Now, if you are a bad guy in a stolen vehicle, perhaps, or something like that, and you drive by one of those LPR cameras, their public-private partnership agreement with local law enforcement would cause the law enforcement agency to be alerted that there's a stolen vehicle passing by a camera, and that alert happens in real time. Lot B is just a registration lot. In this case, it's actually where their teachers park. They like to get there early and get in the shade, but they don't have to pay a fee. So if you're a teacher and you park in the teacher's lot, which is lot B, you just have to register your license plate with the school. The school maintains a list of all the registered plates, just like they do for lot A. So now we have 2 lists for this site. The other thing is, even if somebody from lot A, so let's say a student decides they want to be funny and they want to go right in the dirt on their math teacher's car, they drive their vehicle over to lot B, and you'll see there's quite a bit of separation between those 2 lots. As soon as even somebody registered to lot A shows up on lot B, school security is going to get a notification that says an unauthorized vehicle is in the wrong place. So they're authorized for lot A, but not authorized for lot B. If they enter lot B, they will receive a notification sent to security. And again, that happens in real time. Lot C is a challenge. This is an open community, meaning that after 6 p.m., the community can come run on the track and they can do various things utilizing the facilities that are paid for by tax dollars. So lot C is for visitors. This is where substitute teachers would park, but there's no registration. You don't have to register to park in lot C. However, they do want to make sure that an established connection between vehicles that shouldn't be on campus is established with local law enforcement, so that no registration doesn't affect the stolen car example I gave earlier, parking in lot C or entering lot C. And the other thing is they can actually run a report during the daytime to see if somebody's parking frequently in lot C that maybe shouldn't be. Now, who's going to be parking in lot C? The students that don't want to pay for parking in lot A. So that's what lot C does. And again, every lot and every camera connected at the school's discretion to the law enforcement agency or agencies of their choice. What we see in education is we usually see the city that they're in, the city that that city touches, the county, and the state. So how would you take a look through a school campus? So it's very, very simple. You need to, again, outside in. You work with access control. How are they getting into certain lots? Is the lot open? Is it gated? Do they need to badge in? We have call boxes for larger campuses. If a student is walking to their vehicle late at night and something suspicious happens, do we provide them with a call box? We have our TLK and wave radios for on-site communication. And obviously we have our LPR for all sorts of things. In this case, we have LPR at the entrance, and we also have it in the bus line to make sure that no vehicles that are not school buses pass through the bus line. Additionally, inside, you have your wave dispatch console, you have additional radios, you have your fixed video cameras tied inside and outside, and you have body-worn cameras available in a variety of types to put on administration staff, security staff, etc. So it's a whole consolidated ecosystem that you can build on piece by piece. No one's asking you to forklift anything. Once you get inside a classroom or a lecture hall, you have a Wave push to talk. You also have our Rave mass notification, and you have Halo smart sensors. You might also have your Halo smart sensors in your restrooms if you have a vaping issue, which back when I took the survey at the beginning of this, we noticed there was a vaping issue that was a lot of concern for some of you. A great place to put a Halo sensor with no video on it is right inside a restroom where kids go to vape. So again, a security assessment is not an all or nothing. It is what pieces make sense to your school, to each individual campus. Your high school may have smart sensors in the restrooms for vape sensing, but maybe you don't have that in an elementary school restroom. So there's all sorts of different choices based on each individual campus. How do we tie it all together? Orchestrate is free, ladies and gentlemen. As long as you have two pieces of Motorola technology, you can tie those two pieces together and you can create if-then statements. For example, if a non-permitted student passes an LPR camera in the student lot and they haven't paid, then I would like security to receive a notification over their TLK radios. If an unauthorized vehicle goes into the teacher's lot, I would like a loudspeaker announcement to be made on the loudspeaker in the teacher's lot, things like that. If you have a student trying to access or prop open a door, then I want an alarm to go to the principal's office or the dean's office. So again, any if-then statements. You need some human verification at times, but most of the time these rules run automatically in the background. Now, how do we plan? So somebody like myself comes to your campus and takes a look around and says, okay, I see this, this, and this, and I think you need this, this, and this. I don't see those things. Where do we start? You should always start by identifying your existing technology. What technology do you have? How old is it? How does it work? Issues that you have, things that you love. Then, what contracts and agreements are in place? Do they have an expiration date? Is this something that you're looking to replace? Is this something that you're looking to integrate into a new solution or a more comprehensive solution? So it's real important to have a good handle on what contracts and agreements you have in place for your existing technology. And sometimes there are none. For instance, our body-worn cameras are a buy and you own. So there is no ongoing agreement. You would just know that the body-worn cameras are working well and that you provide the storage for them, that therefore there's no ongoing cost. The other thing is look at APIs or native connectors. So the Orchestrate solution that I showed you on the previous slide is a native connector. There's also APIs, which are little programs that allow you to make non-related technologies talk to one another. And your Motorola representative that's doing your safety assessment can help you identify where APIs might come into play. Maybe you have something that's a non-Motorola product that you really like and you want to keep, and we need to make sure that we can integrate it in a safety solution for your campus. Planning and budgeting. Motorola is absolutely fantastic at identifying grants. We have grant writing help, which you can access through motorolasolutions.com. You want to make sure you identify technology in need of updating. So what needs to be updated and when? Select new technology to address gaps in your solution. Make sure you set demos or observe implemented technology. In all honesty, I like demos the least, and I like observation of it being implemented somewhere else the most. So we can take you to a neighboring school district that has a solution. You can see how they're using it every day. I really feel like once it's been installed and once they've used it for a while, they can give you some very honest pros and cons about what each technology has done for them. Confirm your funding and then establish an implementation timeline. Super, super important to have your timeline. The other thing is testing and training. You know what teachers don't like? New stuff. They like the old stuff. You know what security doesn't like? New stuff. They like the old stuff. So select key users from each demographic within your facility for solution testing. Schedule some training leads and schedule your implementation of end user training. We want to make sure that everybody has the opportunity to be hands-on with this product, either in a demo environment or when it first gets installed, so it's not a surprise to anyone. Communication is key to adoption. I have a daughter who is a junior high school teacher. She doesn't like new stuff, but if she knows it's coming for a while and she's allowed input, she's very, very adaptive to new technology. So a little slide on incident management, a little information for you.
8 a.m., the start of a school day, and class has begun. But for this teacher, something doesn't seem right. She observes a suspicious-looking person on school grounds. He's walking quickly, looking over his shoulder, trying not to be noticed. And he's carrying a large bag that does not look like a backpack. The teacher is concerned because he looks like a student who was recently expelled for threatening to bring weapons to school. Since his expulsion, the student had posted threats against the school on his social media account. The posts were so concerning that school administration and staff had been notified of the threats. The community is on edge. She looks again at the bag and fears he could be armed. She pushes the emergency button on her phone. Lockdown protocols are immediately initiated throughout the school. After securing her room, she reports details of the incident to 911. Students and staff proceed according to the lockdown plan, and lockdown is confirmed by access control systems. Security teams are notified, and the school resource officer receives information about the student of interest on his device. As responding units converge on the school location, they enter the geofence. Radio channels are automatically changed to a common talk group to ensure a unified response and uninterrupted communication. At the school entrance, the SRO apprehends the suspect, who surrenders without incident. Police arrive on scene. The suspect confirms his identity and is taken into custody for criminal trespassing. His bag is searched and the contents documented as evidence. The SRO radios that the expelled student has been apprehended and is now in police custody. After questioning the student further, the incident is cleared and the lockdown lifted. A mass notification is sent out by the school to parents upon incident resolution, informing them that everyone is safe and that more details will follow. Over the coming days, school security and law enforcement will comb through the video footage, witness statements, and sensor data to gain a clear understanding of the timeline of events. As law enforcement prepares this evidence for prosecution, the school administration and security personnel analyze the event data as part of an after-action review, sharing lessons learned and evaluating process improvements. It's a streamlined, connected, and collaborative endeavor, and one that helps secure safer futures.